Hello, this is John from caveofprogramming.com, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make product box icons like these using Inkscape to create the graphics and BoxShot 3D to actually render them into a product box. And Inkscape is actually free and BoxShot 3D is proprietary software. And a while ago I wanted some icons for my website here because I figured if I have some nice icons it's going to get me more sales and it just looks better than what I had before. And for that reason I bought this BoxShot 3D software and I'm just incredibly impressed with it. I absolutely love these icons and I'm going to show you how to create the graphics for them and then use BoxShot 3D to render them in this tutorial. So let's fire up Inkscape to start with, and Inkscape is actually a free piece of software, a free vector drawing program. So I'm gonna run that, and I've installed BoxShot 3D already. And if you go to www.caveofprogramming.com/BoxShot, you'll actually find links to BoxShot, which are affiliate links, so I'll get some cash if you buy them. So thanks very much. And also I've included a template here that you can use to use as a template for your own graphics. Okay, so I'm going to assume you've got BoxShot and you've got Inkscape, and oh yeah, there's also a link on that page to Inkscape. If you Google it as well, you'll quickly find it, Inkscape. And the first thing I'm going to do is, let's also open BoxShot 3D. So BoxShot 3D. And BoxShot 3D is like capable of rendering a whole range of different kind of product packagings. And if you go to New and Sample Scenes, you can see like a massive range of different samples here. And I think the new version, which I believe is coming out soon, has even more stuff. And I've used like the kind of mostly the product boxes on my own site, but also some of these other books and things as well. And in this tutorial I'm going to just use this software box number 1. So I'll select that, and that looks like this. And now if you go to the Shapes tab in BoxShot 3D and you go to Images, here are the actual images that you use to compose your box. And since I'm not using the back here, we just need to create images for the front, left and the top. And you can see here that when I select the front, left and top of the box in the Images sub-tab of the Shapes tab here, then we get different images coming up here, and those are the images that are used to create this image. And they are in C program files, BoxShot images, and then we've got here, well, this is actually the BoxShot folder, and we've got box top, box left and box front. So I'm going to go to Inkscape and I'm going to import those images. So I'm going to go to File, Import, and let's browse to the BoxShot directory. So C program files, BoxShot 3D images, and I want box front. So let's type here box front. And I'll say that I want to just link the image, and we're just going to use this as a guide. I'm going to delete it again later. And let's go to import and box left, and I'll also import, I can use Control I as an alternative to the menu, box top, and let's open that. So I've got my 3 images that compose my box here, and I'll just put them in roughly the right place. And I'm going to change the document outline here just so that they kind of fit nicely in the middle of it. So I'm going to go to File, Document Properties, and let's just try making it 900 by 900 here. 900, and I'll click in this box again, and you can see it's resizing there. So I'll just get rid of that. And I'll select all of these and just move them roughly into the middle. Now I need to align them, so I'm going to press Control and Shift, hold down Control Shift and press A, so Control Shift A, and I get this Align and Distribute dialog here. and I'm going to change relative to first selected here, which actually it already was because I was using it before, and I'm going to click my big icon in the middle there and then hold down shift and click the top box top image here, and I'm going to align that first relative to this first selected front image. And first I'll align the right hand sides, so I'm going to click this here, which is align right sides, and then I'm going to use this, I think I need this one here, align bottom edges of objects to top edge of the anchor, and the anchor is the first selected image in this case because I've got first selected here, so I'll just click that and hey presto. Then I'll click in a white space to deselect everything, and I'll select the front again and then hold down shift and the side, and now I'll align the bottom edges here, and then this will align the right edge of object to the left edge of my anchor, so I click that and hey presto. And now I want to let's just actually move it to the middle a bit more just to make it look nice. It's not really necessary. And now I want to set up some guides based on these images, so I'm going to go to, I think it's objects or path, don't know actually. Somewhere in here we've got object, here we are, it's in the object menu and objects to guides, which is apparently shift G as well. So object menu, objects to guides, and so I've selected that, and I need to make sure the guides are showing as well, so I'll go to view and guides, view guides. Well, that didn't do anything. I think that's because I didn't select them first. Let's do Control A to select everything, and objects to guides, there we go, that's what I wanted. And my original images have disappeared now, which is fine because I don't need them. Now these guides will allow me to correctly align everything I do from now on, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a background that I want to use for the whole box. So I'm going to click this rectangle tool here, and in this align toolbar on the right here I'm going to make sure that snapping is on, enable snapping, and I will snap bounding box to corners, I'll enable that. And let's also have snap to edges of bounding box, this one as well. And with the rectangle tool selected here, I'll just click near this corner here and just drag it down to here, and I'll give that a colour. Let's make it red for a minute, and I'll do Control Shift and F, so hold down Control Shift and press F to get the fill. So two shortcuts I use a lot are Control Shift A for align and Control Shift F for fill and border. And in the fill tab here, if you don't see anything appearing when you select the colour, make sure that opacity is 100% here, and also here in the alpha channel it's set to 255 so that it's not transparent at all. And now I think I'm going to just work with I could do something like select a gradient fill for this for the background for the entire box that would then be seamless over the whole box, but I think I'll just make this white. So now that I know that it's there and it all looks correct, let's just click on white here and make that white. And even if you want a white background, you need to put something in there, because otherwise it will be transparent and things wouldn't quite work properly. So you need to have a background for your entire box. Now I'm going to do the similar thing again. I'll click the rectangle tool and let's fill in the front here. You can see that handle to guide origin is popping up when I put my cursor in the right place. I'll just drag that down here to this lower corner here, and let's just make that green so I can see it to start with. And I'll also create the top for the box here and the side here, and I'm going to actually just use these rectangles for aligning and for exporting the relevant areas of the image, and they're not actually going to be part of my final image. So I'm going to set them to transparent. So I'm going to just click this click the selector tool here and with the side selected I'm going to make the opacity, well, let's just set the alpha channel actually and set it to 0, and I'll do the same for the top here, set it to 0, and the front, set it to 0. And now the annoying thing is that in Inkscape, with the selector tool here, I can't select transparent images. So to select them now, I would have to use tab like this. I can tab through all my images. And because they're transparent, if the background was, for example, red, I would see it and it would shine through like that. But I'm going to have the background white. So I've got 4 images now. And the next step is to just design the box however I want it. And I think what I'll do is I'll just do something really quickly for the purposes of this tutorial, and I'll try not to make this drag on too long. But I'm gonna I'd like to have sort of a border across my little rectangle across the front here. So with the rectangle tool selected, I'll make this blue, and I'll just make a rectangle that goes right across the box like this. And I need to put the alpha channel here in a fill and stroke back to blue like that. And let's also have a blue top as well. In fact, let's make it green just for a change, because I always use blue, or even red, I don't know. Well, let's not get hung up on this. I'll make it green, and I'll also put one that covers the top of the box and a little bit of the front of the box as well. So there we go, and you'll notice it's kind of going to, these bits are also going to be on the side of the box, which is why I move the top and the side and the front all together in one piece, so that the box kind of looks continuous when I've finished it. Let's have a little logo on the front. I'll just use a spiral here actually, and just put a spiral there, and I'll just click the selector tool and just move that to the middle roughly, and it's snapping to my rectangle here, but I'll use the arrow key, the down arrow key, to move it down to where I want it, and I'll use the tab key to select the front of the box, and then holding down shift I'll select the spiral, and with Control Shift A to bring up the align and distribute, I'll now move this to the center vertically of my front cover like that. So first I selected the front cover with tab, which is transparent, then I held down shift and selected the spiral, and then I did Control Shift A and aligned the spiral vertically on the vertical axis. I'm actually aligning horizontally, but I'm centering it on the vertical axis relative to the front box cover. Now I'll click outside the whole thing to deselect and just select the spiral, and with Control Shift F I'm going to just go to stroke. I'll have it with no fill, and stroke paint here, I'll leave it as it is for the minute. I'll go to stroke style and just increase the width of the stroke. There we go, that looks nicer, to make it into a real spiral. And with stroke paint here, I'm going to select gradient, linear gradient. And now if I select the gradient tool down here, I think, there we go, we can actually see the gradient, and I can select these nodes here. If I select that and make that maybe red, and select this node here, and let's make it orange, so we've got a nice sort of red-orange gradient. And I'll click the selector and go to filters, shadows and glows, drop shadow, and let's click live preview, and I'll just adjust the parameters here a bit until I've got a shadow that I like the look of, and actually that already looks pretty good, I think. So I'll click apply and close and click outside the box. So now I've got a logo on the front, and now let's just put some text on it to finish it off. So I'll click the text tool and I'll put some text here, and here I'll say Cave of Programming, and I'll go to the font size up here and make it maybe 40, and I'll change that to white, and click the selector tool, select it, let's move it down a little bit. In fact, what I'll do is I'll select this green panel here and make it narrower a bit Then with the green panel selected, I'll hold down Shift, select the text, and I'm going to do Control Shift A and align on the horizontal axis. So I'll align the text. So I've still got first selected here. So I'm aligning the text to the horizontal axis of this outer green shape here, the outer rectangle. And I'll click outside the box and just select the text again. Actually, I'll first select the cover with Tab. So Tab till you select the cover of the box, then hold down Shift, select the text, and I'll align this on the vertical axis of the cover. So I've aligned the text now. And for the rest of it, it's pretty similar. I'm just gonna, let's have some more text here. Just say box shot 3D template maybe, and let's make that like, I don't know, 32 or something. And again, same technique. I tab till I get the front cover, which is now selected, and hold down Shift, select the text with the selector tool. There we go, and just align it there on the vertical axis, and click outside, and let's just move this text down a bit like that. And you can put more text on it wherever you like, basically. I'll put one more bit of text, I think, and I'll just put it on the side. So I'm going to say Cave of Programming. Actually, let's put my URL on there, www.caveofprogramming/box shop, which is where you can find this template that I'm creating now. And with this selector tool, I'm going to hold down, I'm going to click this again till I see the rotation tools here, and hold down Alt, and with this middle tool here, I'm just going to, actually that's not the one I want, let's do Control Z. So hold down Alt and select this corner rotation tool. It's still not right. Let's try this. Hold down Control, select the corner rotation tool. That's the one I want. Okay, got there in the end. Some of these shortcuts are hard to remember, and I'll just click the text tool and click in there again and do Control A. Now, so I click the text tool, clicked in the text, and do Control A to select all the text, and I'll just change the font to maybe 20, or yeah, maybe 20, or even just 13 or something like that. Actually, this probably isn't a really good thing to have on the side of a box, 24, I don't know. And I'll just move it roughly to where I want it. And it's snapping to the sides, but I'll click outside there and select it and just move it roughly with the arrow for the moment. And let's just make this, I don't know, blue or something, red, I don't know, I'll make it red for the moment. That doesn't look that good actually, but you can play around with this anyway, you get the idea. And I'll just tab till I get that side panel there, and then I'll hold down Shift and select the text and align it on the vertical axis of the side panel, and maybe align it on the horizontal axis of the side panel as well. See how that looks. Yeah, I don't know, it probably would look better if I didn't have a URL on there, but I had some text or something. I'll leave it for the moment anyway, so you get the idea. I'll make one last adjustment to this, I think, and this can get quite addictive, but I'll put a little kind of rectangle up here, and with the selector tool selected, I'm just going to make that really narrow, like that, and just make it white, so that we have something just to break up this top panel here. And I'll align this in the top panel by selecting the top panel, Shift, select that rectangle, and align on horizontal axis. There we go. Okay, that'll do, and I'll just save that. So I'm going to save it as I'll just call it drawing actually for the moment. And now to export these images, I just tab till I select the front, and then go to File, Export Bitmap. And I'm going to export this to a folder of my choosing. Make sure selection is highlighted here. I want to export the selection, and I'm just going to call this box. Let's call this yeah, I don't know, let's call this, I would call it box front, but I've already got a box front, so let's call this tutorial front, and export it, and then tab till I select the top here, and I'll call this tutorial top, and export. I think that exported, there we go. And then tab again till I select the side panel here, and tutorial side, export. And now I'm going to go to Boxshot 3D. This is the well, actually I was going to say it's a fun bit, but all of it's quite fun actually. You can get quite addicted to this, I found. And I'm going to under shapes here, I'm going to select the front and click this ellipsis and select my tutorial front, and then go to left and select the tutorial left here, and then go to top and select the tutorial top. There we go, there's my product box, and now I'm going to go to render and select the size that I want, and I'll change the quality to web because I want to use this on the web, and then just click start render, and you can select, say, whether you want the reflect, there's like a reflection underneath here, I don't know if you can see it, and a shadow behind, and you can choose to have those or not have those, and I'm rendering it with a safe border so that it's going to avoid clipping off my shadow too much. It's going to look pretty nice, and then I'll just save the image as tutorial, let's say, and now I've got my image, and this is an image that I can use on the web or wherever I want. And that is how I created the icons on my website. So if you go to caveofprogramming.com here, then I've got all these icons that I created, my product images. And usually I try to use free software, but I figured if I made some nice icons with Boxshot 3D, it's going to more than repay me, hopefully, in sales of my courses, because they just look nicer. And if you don't want to buy Boxshot 3D, then you could try using something like Blender, or you could even skew the images in Inkscape and try to create a box there. But Boxshot 3D makes it much easier, and it actually ray traces it, so the finished thing looks really nice. But you could do that in Blender if you're prepared to learn Blender. I've learned Blender a bit, and it is a bit of a steep learning curve, and I just thought it's easy to use Boxshot 3D. And just to repeat, if you go to www.caveofprogramming.com, whoops, not Craigslist, caveofprogramming.com, and /boxshot, there you'll find my links to Boxshot and a link to Inkscape, which is free, and also my free product template, because the template that I used to create this image here, or the one that similar to the one I've just shown you, I saved it as an SVG file, and you can actually, if you right click that, you can save link as, and you can open that in Inkscape and use that as a template for your own graphics, so you don't have to mess about with the early stages of what I just showed you. You can just dive straight in and just change the graphics. Okay, so that's it for this tutorial, and please check out caveofprogramming.com, and until next time, well, I usually finish with happy coding, because I'm usually making programming tutorials, so I'll say, I don't know, happy making images.